the new Overlords Podcast. I'm Max, that's Sema, and we talk about video games. Coming up, we're going to catch up on Pragmata, which I played from Capcom. Driving home the idea that Capcom is potentially Studio of the Year for us this year, for all of us gamers, doing some really good work. We're also going to talk about Expanse Osiris Reborn Beta, which, folks, we need to talk about this. A little bit of a serious conversation on that one. And I didn't expect to be playing it this much already, but I already played a couple hours of Diablo 4, Lord of Hatred, because that went live yesterday afternoon, 6 p.m. I didn't think it was coming out till today, but yeah, it was 6 p.m. and I played it a little bit last night, and that is putting the ARPG meat back on the menu, boys. It's good. It's good. So I'll tell you all about that soon as well.
What about the maggoty bread?
But first, let's say hello to my co-host, also running the show, who's going to talk about World of Warcraft today for us as well. Hello, Sema. How are you? How's it going? How's everything?
Hello, Max. How are you doing? Well, speaking of WoW, there's just so much to do in WoW right now. It's kind of overwhelming. So, yeah, I have things to say.
Excellent. Things to say. And a little bit of controversy that we're going to get into on WoW. Are they doing a good job? Maybe not. Stay tuned till the news. All right. Let's jump right into it. Let's jump into the news.
Good news, everyone.
First up in the news, we've got news about news. Tomorrow, we're getting a dev stream for Star Wars The Old Republic game update. What? 7.9? I guess it is 7.9. Yeah.
Yes, the penultimate.
There was only one period. There wasn't like 5 decimal points across the number. I got confused. And isn't it like 7 dot something dot something dot something? Well, no, we're already up to 7.9.
That's the next one after
Legacy
this.
Reborn, is that what they're calling 7.9? So that developer live stream is scheduled for tomorrow. So we'll talk about it next week, about the details, but we're hoping to hear more about 7.9. And Keith promised we would start hearing about 8.0 potentially as early as tomorrow, this next dev stream, which I hope. May the 4th is also coming up, so we'll hear a little bit about that, I'm sure. And maybe next week we can give you a roundup of all the fun May the 4th things that are happening around the Star Wars, the galaxy of Star Wars content, because Alaiak S, our guild, will be doing a fun May the 4th event on Sunday, right, Stask? Stask can give you some details on that in the AIE Discord, which will be on May the 3rd, I believe. And yeah, we're hoping to get some more announcements of things next week as well on new Star Wars stuff. So cool. World of Warcraft 12.0.5 is the most recent update, Sema, isn't it? And I heard it's got a little bugs, little challenges there. Tell me about it.
It hasn't made the game unplayable, but there were just so many bugs this time around that that's all anybody could talk about. And content creators galore, and even Blizzard even issued a little apology. I mean, it doesn't say a lot, but it was sort of like, this is not fun for anyone. This is not what we expect of ourselves. We will do better. But they had things like bonus rolls not working, which was affecting people's loot that they got off bosses, which is pretty big deal.
Yep.
There was there's one thing where you could, if you did a certain thing in one of the delves, you could no longer strafe.
Yeah.
Guardian druids could become unhealable in one of the raids, which one of our tanks is a Guardian Druid. And he would have to like log off and log back in so that he could then be healable so we could do the next attempt.
Yeah.
One of the raids, the final boss was broken so it could not be killed. They had to turn off housing completely for a day. They had to take down void incursions temporarily, which is one of the new features. Then there was the decor duel thing where Hunter Track Humanoid was working so that it was hunters could just go in and boom, win. Then there was a host of like latency and login issues too, which I expect with a patch. And it was just like, I expect bugs in general, and I'm really tolerant of bugs. So a lot of this didn't touch me, but it it's a lot and a lot of big ones. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a fun week in that respect. Not fun for Blizzard though, but they did fix the biggest ones in a very timely manner, which kind of begs the question of why, you know, if they could fix it in a day, why not like last Thursday?
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
like I know that some of these things escaped testing because one of the devs explained that the test realm is on one realm and the QA realm is one realm. And the problem with bonus rolls was affected by the live environment being multiple realms all the time.
Ah,
So I can kind of see how that might slip. Like they didn't know about that one, but a number of these big ones had already been reported to them on the test server. So you just kind of wonder what's going on back there. Um, and also the multi-realm thing, I only kind of buy that because lots of systems are affected by multi-realms. So they must have a way of testing that.
right.
You know, like not everything that happens on multiple realms comes out broken.
Right. You don't, yeah. When you put a group together into like LFR and people are getting pulled in from multiple realms, they don't like
Right.
push a change to that to live and see what happens. They've got a way to test
Theoretically,
that.
they don't. But what you're saying kind of also points out a thing, and we've talked about this before, is it's a very complex environment. It's like
Yes.
layers, layers, and layers, and then you have the client part and the server part and everything in between. So I get it that bugs are going to happen. It's just a lot.
It
It's
is a
just a lot.
lot. It's a bad one. And
Yeah.
it's everybody's justified in saying, hey, it's a bad one. You need to, work harder. And so one of the key things is they're trying to have this more rapid schedule of
Yeah.
content. And
Right.
because it's a rapid schedule of content, they might be pushing faster than they really ought to be. That's what I would concern
Yeah.
myself with. That's what I would encourage them to take a look at and step back from that if they need to.
Or even faster than they need to be.
Yeah.
Because this patch brought out the Decor Duel, ritual sites, void incursions,
Spearfishing.
the spearfishing. That's like 4, sort of downtime of well, one of them's not 2 of them are not downtime events, but it's like 4 new ways to play WoW in one patch, and it's a minor patch.
Which
I mean,
kind of
minor.
nobody asked for also. I mean, not in a bad way. And maybe they're good and maybe it's going to end up being fun things, but nobody asked for prop hunt in World of Warcraft that I know of.
So the dev that I was listening to made a interesting comment about housing because they were talking about the context was gearing, and they were saying that people were gearing up, not like the highest echelon of players were gearing up at the same rate as normal, but like one down, which I took to mean like heroic raiders like me, are gearing up faster, which I do feel like it's been faster this time around. But he was saying the way housing plays into that is that a lot of people, the way they play, and I do this, is that they play the content to get their gear in shape. Then they have time to do things like housing. And so that is one of the roles that housing plays in the game, is that it gives you something to do when you're done doing the things that give you gear for that season.
So they wanted to push more things out because they thought people were going to be done gearing up and ready for new content?
That is what it makes it sound like. And so
I
the
guess.
fishing, like, I'm not going to do that fishing thing until I literally have nothing else to do. And maybe not even then.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, it's people play World of Warcraft to play World of Warcraft. I don't play World of Warcraft to play prop hunt. I don't play World of Warcraft to play Bejeweled. So
No, I totally agree. Although I'm one of the reasons I'm still kind of in love with WoW after all these years is that they do have these things that I don't care about.
yeah.
But somebody else does.
But what would be nice is they have things in the game like pet battles
Oh yeah.
that are like core parts of the game and have like an MMO. Like prop hunt is not, there's like no MMO element to that, but like there's like little animals around. And what if I could make one of those little animals my pet? And what if I could have like a little pet battle with those animals? It's like part of the world.
You're right. Now I'm mad
Okay.
because we
There
got
we go.
Decor
Mission
Duel.
accomplished.
They had to give up pet battles in order to make room for things like Decor Duel and blah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't need to linger on it. But just
No, we
to
don't.
put the word out there, all these people that are saying, oh, they must be vibe coding all of the AI stuff, for one. And for two, oh, this is what you get when you have no QA people. You fired 100% of your QA department. Okay, neither of those things are true.
Right.
They're not vibe coding the whole game now, for one. For two, they did not fire all of their QA. You go on any discussion and you will see people say that's because they fired all of their QA. They did not. They did not fire all of their QA. They did downsize a bit, but actually in 2022, they hired a whole bunch of QA that used to be contractors, and they now have a QA union in a couple of their shops. So I don't know what people get a thing in their head, and anything comes up, and
Yeah.
people will just
I think
say ridiculous things.
if you feel like there's a really simple solution to something, then you should think more because there usually isn't, especially with something like this with so many moving parts.
Right. Also in the news, another game that's getting mixed reviews like WoW's patch is. I did not play it. I don't know, maybe I'll play this game next week because we don't have a lot of new releases coming out in the next few weeks. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll give it a shot, and that is Masters of Albion. But I did not jump right into it because I had other fun things to jump into. But we got a little bit of news from the people that are checking it out that it's getting a little bit of mixed reception. And I think part of that, you were talking about this a bit, which is
Yeah.
Peter Molyneux, who sort of touted this as the ultimate evolution of, Populous was what? It was from the 80s. This idea of the God game and the God hand, and this whole thing, and this is like the ultimate magnum opus evolution of this whole concept. What you do when you put that out there in that way is you get the super fans of that old school concept who now expect all of the feelings and everything that gave them, and then like taken to a whole new degree, and they're never going to be satisfied. So it
Right.
seems
Plus,
like those people are not
even
satisfied.
more than that, he got the fans of Fable and Black and White, and it's not even that kind of game.
Right. So, it still looks fine to me, but there's sounds like there's also some valid criticism. It also sounds like it's early. It's early access. So
Right.
it's not
It's
necessarily
early.
complete.
One of the major complaints is that once you've done it for a while, it gets repetitive. But that is kind of typical of early release too, because it's like the stuff that you would be doing instead of that repetitive thing may not be in yet.
Right. And it's a colony building game. I'm not an expert in the God hand game genre, but a couple of the bits of feedback I saw were your god powers, your ability to affect the world as a god. I don't know, like to create a tsunami or whatever people are expecting is a little bit lackluster as well. What it sounds like it is, and what it sounds like it's might potentially be pretty good at, is the colony management, and where you're setting up little workflows and workers and signing into buildings and make them craft, and and maybe a lot of that stuff is repetitive, but that's grinding out the next 1,000 bushels of wheat to evolve your colony. That's what you do in games like Timberborn, which maybe this game does very well, but that's not what people were expecting, so it's going to get downvoted a bit. So we'll see. Maybe I'll try it out, but I was a little bit disappointed to see that it wasn't didn't get all of the kudos that it could have gotten. We'll see where it ends up, and we'll give it some time too. It's early access. Also getting mixed reviews, and this I just threw in because I figured maybe it's something we should keep our eye on, It's Sandbox. So it's called Sandbox. And if you haven't heard about it, that's fine. It lives in the world that Roblox lives in. It's basically a Roblox competitor. And what Roblox really is these days is a platform. Roblox is a platform for people, which started as like kids to like make little games for their friends. Roblox is now a multi-billion-dollar business, and as such, because people can like sell their games or get a cut from Roblox when something gets popular inside of the Roblox platform, you get these 1,000-person factory shops in Asia who will just pump out hundreds of these games a week, looking for the ones that hit big. And it's no longer just, people making games for their friends. Well, Sandbox decided, and this is the makers of sort of like the evolution of Gary's Mod. I don't want to even say the makers of Gary's Mod because it's not Gary anymore. I don't think is actually making it. But the group behind the current Gary's Mod said, we can make a Roblox. What if we had our own Roblox? So that's what they've done, to the point where the idea is it's an engine to make games, almost like a meta engine. So it's not like a core game engine like Unity or Unreal. It's a way to snap pieces together inside an engine in some relatively technical ways. And potentially it could evolve into a full game engine in the future, but that's what they've created. Their big problem right now that they've released the platform, because so here, wait, let me just back it up. So I'm showing in their trailer, and this is what they're promoting, and this is what's getting them into trouble, I think, is create, publish, get paid. Play Fund pays creators based on playtime. You create a thing in the platform, and Sandbox will pay the creator. Isn't that cool? Okay, now you've opened the floodgates to these 1,000-person factory organizations in these offshore locations that are going to now just dump junk, hundreds of releases of whatever they can onto your platform as fast as they can to hope for the that 1% that hit and become popular. And they have new tools available to make that even like faster and sloppier, which is AI. So you get a lot of feedback right now for Sandbox saying, "Hey, this isn't what it was. This isn't what I expected. This is cool people making cool games. This is a bunch of garbage."
That's unfortunate.
Which yes, it's gonna be a bunch of garbage because they put money on the table, and Roblox already created these engines out in the world, these third-party groups that are now very well equipped to be able to just dump out this stuff at speed, and they're dumping it onto Sandbox day one. So we'll see where it goes. It's still an interesting idea. Roblox having a competitor is not a bad thing. I just don't think... I don't know. I think it's just we're now in a situation where even AAA games have thousands of competitors. Steam gets tens of thousands of games released per year. To have like a meta platform where you can do it even faster and even more of them, you're gonna have like 100,000 things being barfed onto these platforms a year. What does anyone expect that you're gonna get out of that as a player? Except if you're a kid, you'll just find a million things to play, I guess.
With Steam, and maybe they've come in under fire for not doing it well enough, but at least they look at each game that goes on the platform. I don't see how this is going to be possible.
No.
Sandbox.
Right. And that's why you get like Parkymon animal battle game and in Roblox. And I don't even know how you fight against that. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just something to keep an eye on. So if you hear about Sandbox and it's spelled S@BOX, you'll know what's happening.
It's not @. It's ampersand.
Ampersand. That's what I meant. Yeah, right. Yeah. S ampersand.
@
Why is it not
won't
the @ sign?
Because it's and. S and sand.
Oh, right. Because I have to say Ampers. But yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Because
No, you're right.
I mean, it's the
Sand.
and
Yeah, it's supposed to spell,
and
it's supposed to, yeah, it's supposed to, yeah, right. And yeah, that's why it's not, because that wouldn't make sense. Because it's not
Satbox.
Satbox. Sandbox. Okay. And then the last bit of why, why that I wanted to throw into the news. I mean, I guess why not? But Valve's Steam controller is releasing in a couple days, and I don't know why. It's going to be May 4th. It's going to be $100 and it's May 4th. I think it looks ugly, and not like a controller I would actually want to use to play games, because it's got the two D-pads underneath. So it's like, it's like a dual stick controller like you would expect, like a PlayStation or Xbox controller, except it also has the two touch pads that you see on a Steam Deck, the sort of like the two thumb touch pads that are like in the middle, like you move your thumbs down. It's got those two built into the controller. I play a bunch of games on my Steam Deck. I never use those. Does anybody use those? Why is that like taking up, like visually it takes up like a third of the visual space when you look at the controller. I think when you hold your hands on it, it'll be much less intrusive because they're just sort of tucked down below. But when you look at the controller, all you see are those two big touch pads, which aren't very useful, taking up all that space. I don't get that, for one. But maybe the rest of the controller feels really good and solid, and then it'll be fine. For two, it only works with Steam. It does not work with PC. So you can't like take this and play your Ubisoft Connect or your Xbox Game Pass games. It won't work with them.
No, and it doesn't work with any existing game system. Just Steam.
Just Steam. It's
like
made
it
for.
Yeah.
So they're coming out with a Steam machine someday. It's gonna cost $2,000, and it's not gonna work. It's gonna fail. But the Steam machine is supposed to be like a console that just has Steam built into it that you can put in your living room and play 4K games. They needed controllers for that. I completely see that they needed to create a controller and release a controller with that machine. I just don't know why they're releasing it early and separately. I mean, some of it's probably just why not.
My guess is yes, because they can, because you don't have to have RAM for it.
Right. Yeah. So it's done. They've got them sitting around made in a warehouse. Why not just start shipping some of them, I guess?
Right. Or it was probably part of the whole Steam machine rollout and picture and dream.
Right.
And they just broke it out because it's done and they could. And
right. They probably hope to have, right. They probably hope to have the Steam machine out by now, but they can't due to industry issues.
No RAM.
No RAM. New things coming soon. We're hitting May in 2 days. The kinds of things that I wanted to highlight. There's not a ton coming in May that is on my radar. One that's definitely not on my radar, but I know will be beautiful, is just because I don't play many racing games anymore these days, is Forza Horizon 6. So that'll be really fun to see videos of. If it's on, yeah, it'll be on Game Pass, I'm sure. So maybe I could fire it up and just play it, just get that feel again. I used to play them when they came out on Xbox back in the day. Not a lot, but I always played them, and they were always really cool. In the moment, they were some of the best graphics that you could imagine on the platforms. And today still, they really push the limit on what's possible in things looking real, like you're actually, like these are real cars that are out there driving on the tracks. So it's fun to see them from that perspective. So we'll see. Also coming is 007 First Light. Yes. I am old enough. Don't you know this, Steam? I'm logged in. You know who I am. If I have to enter my birthday like once a day, then you're doing something wrong. Anyway, 007 First Light will be out. You know, this is the one where 007 is a high school kid. And
right.
It's early in his career. Let's put it that way. We'll talk about other early in their career main characters when we talk about Expanse soon too. I've got a little bit of a mini rant on that, but it still looks like a great game. So James Bond, um, IOI making this game. It looks pretty cool. We'll have to see. I don't know. Was this one going to come out on Xbox Game Pass?
I want to say yes, but I'll check.
If it is, then I'm definitely playing it. If it's not, then I don't know if I want to spend another $60 on it day one. I don't. It's probably not day one Game Pass because it's IOI published. So, but I like the look of it. It's just I don't play a lot of those kind of like stealth games. Still,
Right.
it did look
Yeah,
cool.
I don't think it's going to be on Game Pass day one.
I may end up playing this game. There isn't a ton in May, and this is probably number one of things that I see coming in May that I'm interested in. So I think I probably will be then. Also, just things catching my eye. I was looking through releasing soon on Steam. I think I saw this on IGN. And it's like a little colony management, little base building game, but it's based around building a moon base in a lunar crater on the moon wait, did it even say SpaceX on that robot? What did it? No, it's called Hex.
Oh.
It's yeah. It looks relatively close to the kinds of things you'd want to see out of hey, that Artemis mission was super cool. What kind of game could I play that's like that?
Right. Right.
This is it. It's not, you're not like you're building the little base on the moon, and it's like a little grid, and you're dropping buildings onto the grid locations and connecting up the various gathering resources with the little cars. It's not a first person game, as you're not like adventuring around on the moon. You're shipping shipments back and forth. So you're doing kind of like the logistics strategy part of building the moon base. And so if you like that kind of game, I think this is really it really looks cool. It just says Q2 2026, so we could be getting it relatively soon, but it might not come until June. Who knows? But that really caught my eye, especially because of the whole Artemis connection. And it does make me think, if you were really into it, this may catch your eye from that perspective.
Yeah. I agree.
Also, we are getting a bunch of news that's popping up and confirmations that Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is coming July 9th. Everyone that is an Assassin's Creed Black Flag fan is very excited. It does look like a really good remaster. So it's kind of like a remaster of the game. And because pirates are hot again in a couple ways, and people have been wanting more good, fun pirate games, I expect that this is going to be cool and fun. I never played the original Black Flag. I will be playing this. It's just supposed to be a great kind of like RPG. I like Assassin's Creed games. I like Ubisoft. This will be a game that I play, and I like pirates because it's fun. And these will be the fun kind of pirates. You get to play a good-natured, adventuring pirate. Well, I mean, it is Assassin's Creed. I'm so sure you're going to kill people, but
Yeah.
they're all bad.
I mean, it's a game, so I'm sure you're going to kill people.
Man, can't hardly have a game without a bunch of murder.
Right.
We'll talk about that for the Expanse game also. Just murder a whole bunch of people.
That's
Finally,
an interesting choice of words, though, resynced.
Yeah, well, that ties into the meta. There's this whole part of the Assassin's Creed where when you play an Assassin's Creed game, what you're actually doing is you're in the future and you're sinking back into memories of these assassins and their adventures in the past.
So
like,
it has meaning for the game.
Yeah, exactly. So resynced is like a kind of a thing that's going on.
I thought they were just trying to make it sound like it wasn't a remaster, that is something different.
That's kind of their vocabulary, but it is They
It does
probably
look
should just
nice.
call it remaster, because now people are like, what is a resync?
Like me, because
Yeah.
I've never played these games. But yeah, it does look really good.
Yeah. The last one I wanted to mention, that's, I don't even know how soon it's coming. Let's see if it says, is Blood of the Dawnwalker. September. So this one's coming in September. I'm only giving this one a note because the marketing engine on this one has hit it high gear. For whatever reason, this week, I've seen it in like 10 different places, like pieces getting written about it, videos getting produced about it. It is getting pushed really hard. So they've got just like a giant marketing budget, and it's published by Bandai Namco, but a huge marketing budget, or they have a lot of faith in where this is going to go, or the people that have seen it, like at IGN, decided that this is going to be popular enough that it warrants writing 5 articles this week. But Blood of the Dawnwalker, RPG, 14th century Europe, you're a half vampire of some kind. You're human by day and vampire by night, and you're just trying to save your family. And it looks violent and bloody and vampire-y, but RPG-ish. And you fight other vampires, and you fight like the bad guys, the evil kings and things like that, I think too. And it looks pretty. At least the landscapes look really pretty. The people look pretty good. The vampires, I wasn't that fond of the look of them. They're kind of more of the Nosferatu versions of vampires, and not the
Super
Interview with the
sexy.
vampires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Twilight vampires, which it's good that they're not that. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Keep an eye on this one, just because the marketing engine is so ramped up that I expect that it's going to be pushed more and hopefully be good. And people have enough confidence in it that it's going to end up being one that warrants the amount of marketing push that's happening. All right. So they also did a dev showcase this week, and the devs are former CD Projekt Red devs, Rebel Wolves. We shall see. We'll see where they go with that. It could be a big one for the fall. All right, this podcast is brought to you by Garden and a Goat, the upcoming game from Contemplation Games. If you want to hear more and see development in progress, including opening up the game engine and doing things live on stream, every Monday morning you can join me. I am doing a Monday morning stream, 9:30 a.m. Central, on the Contemplation Games Twitch channel. And I'm talking to what I did this Monday, which I'll probably kind of keep this format, is I played the game for maybe about a half hour. I wanted to try some things out actually in the game. And then I switched over to the game engine, opened it up on Unreal. And this week I showed off and was playing around in materials and showing like what a material and what a shader actually is, and sort of like how they get wired up and how they get put together. Some of the things that we've had to deal with, and some of our more complex materials, like our landscape material, is quite complex. In fact, I've got to make it even more complex this week as we're trying to do performance tuning. But it's that kind of thing. So if you want to see that, Coffee and Contemplation with Contemplation Games, Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. Central. Be there.
Ooh.
Love to have people join.
Yeah.
This is also brought to you by Alea Acta Est, AIE-guild.org, our gaming community. Jump on there and jump in Discord if you want to come hang out with us, especially this week for May the 4th in Star Wars The Old Republic. But we have a huge group that's doing things all over the place in World of Warcraft and ESO and Final Fantasy and every game, all of the games. So there we go. It's also brought to you by all of you out there watching, listening, and in the chat room right now. We really appreciate that too. It really is what makes it fun for us. So thanks, everybody. You guys know who you are. I see all the usual suspects there in the chat room, especially. So thank you. All right, Sema.
It looks like meat's back on our menu, boys.
No way. God. Finally.
Oh my God. Oh, I kind of like the magic bread.
So the main
I never
meat,
get told.
I know it doesn't. It doesn't. We've got some really good ones. The main meat on the menu I'll save till the end, which is Diablo 4. which is getting more ripped and torn meat back on the menu. But I did play 2 other things this week as well. I did end up playing Pragmata. So why don't we start with that?
Yeah.
Now, we talked about
Yeah.
that, and I know you've looked at it some, Sema, as well, at least the
Yeah,
trailers and
yes.
stuff.
Yep.
This is the one with the little android girl, and you're Hugh, this spaceman, and you go to the moon, and there's a very advanced, this is in the future, a very advanced moon base, and they've got like the super advanced materials that can like 3D print anything and everything, including like really cool parts of the moon base that maybe like look like a street in New York, and another one that looks like a forest. And so you get like biomes that you can go and visit too, but you're in this moon base. You find this girl, man, I forgot her name. I'm sure she's got a name. Do human girls have names, right?
Right.
But she's a little android girl. I don't know why she's a little android girl, but when you play the full story, I've heard you do kind of like find out what the deal is and why she's a little android girl and why she acts like a little girl. She acts like a little 6-year-old, 7-year-old.
Diana.
She is super cute. Kind of the story, and this is what would hook me, and this is what makes me want to play it more, but the gameplay is good, but not my favorite. It's a shooter. It's a shooter game. And so you're just running around and you're shooting robots. I love shooting robots. But
Don't get me wrong.
it's not like a survival game. It's not an exploration adventure game. It's a shooter game. So you're running through the environments. In fact, to the point of where it's almost like a Borderlands level of shooter game or a Doom level of shooter game. So you're just running around and shooting game. And you pick up some ammo and you pick up a power up, and then you go and shoot some more things. And then there's a big boss thing and you go and shoot that. It's satisfying. It's good shooting. Man, I'm not even showing it on the screen there. It's good stuff, but it's merely a shooter game, which is only okay for me. However, wrapped around that, or the shooter game is wrapped around this story of Hugh and the girl, where she's just like this little girl, lost soul in this environment, and you end up with like this father-daughter relationship between them, and it just seems great and wholesome and nice and not cringy, not cheesy. The parts that I played in the demo and the parts that I've seen elsewhere in like trailers and in playthrough videos, if I could play the game I want to play, and we brainstormed on this last week, didn't we, Sema? If I could play like a survival crafting game with this story, I would love it. So what I want to do, this is what our brainstorm was. I want to be able to mix and match. I want to be able to like pick a story and pick a gameplay type, and then mash those two up.
Style. Yeah.
Give me that. Give me Conan Exile's gameplay with this environment and story, and I would love it. I would love that.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Because I don't like the Conan Exiles story, but I love the gameplay. In fact, we're probably going to play Conan Exiles in a couple weeks when the Unreal 5 version comes out. We're going to have a group that's in there playing, but I don't want to enslave people, and all my followers have to be thralls that I've broken on the wheel of pain. I don't like that. It doesn't feel good. But if I could if my thralls could be little robot kids that I rescue in a cool moon base, and they're all like the cute little kids with these awesome powers, that would be great. I would play that. Anyway.
Totally.
I'm disappointed that I don't want to just play a shooter for 10 hours just to get the story. So maybe what I need to do is just watch the story in YouTube videos. Just let me watch all of the clips. Yeah. But she's really cute. Even like when you're running around, she's like says stuff to you, and she's like, no, look over there. Wait. I'll get it. And then she does like little hacking tricks and stuff like that. It just seems really, really fun. And Hugh's banter back to her is like, no, I don't think I am going to get bored, especially with you continue to chatter like this. No, but he's nice to her, and it's obvious like he's saving and rescuing her. It just feels great. So, uh, but yeah, not to downplay the gameplay itself. If you like shooter games, it has its little extra trick of in the middle of running around dodging these robots and trying to shoot them, you need to do a little mini hacking game. And it's Diana that does the hacking. And you have to do the hacking in order to like drop the shields on the robots in order to be able to damage them. That little twist plays pretty well. You got to get used to the controls a little bit because you're doing it actually with the mouse. So you're like moving around, you're like mouse aiming with the mouse, and then you hit the hack button and your mouse dragging to drag through the little hack grid, 4x4 hack grid to make sure you get the power ups and complete the hack in time, all while you're running around dodging. After I got into it and got the feel of it, it felt pretty good and natural. And I think you could get like a pro could probably get really fast and just zip, 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 just each one of the hacks. If you don't like the hacking game, I think there's even power-ups later in the game where you can kind of have like auto hacking going on for a little bit of a penalty.
Oh, penalty. Okay.
You're not getting like all of the buffs from the hack that you could kind of thing. Get like a little bit of a penalty to not doing the hack, but you can avoid the hacking if you really didn't like the hacking part of it. The shooting feels good. It is arcadey in the way that, like you have a main gun, which is just like almost like a pistol-y kind of gun that's unlimited in shots and just sort of recharges over time. And then you pick up these extra cool guns, like a shockwave gun that stuns the robots. But those are limited in use. So once you use it up, it disappears and you need to pick up another one. And so then in the next fight, one might show up. But it's in that way, it's like arcadey, not RPG-ish, where you're like getting weapons and upgrading them over time and it becomes your favorite weapon and you use it. It's more like you're grabbing power-ups and you're fighting a fight and then you reset and then you're back to like base and you grab some more power-ups and you fight a fight. Still, solid, good, pretty, well put together, bug-free. Capcom, great job. Good job.
Nice.
Do you see that little picture where she put that chip in her mouth?
Yeah.
That's how she's uploading data off the chip. She grabs the circuit chip from you and shoves it into her mouth and bites on it.
And then her eyes light up.
Her eyes glow because she's a little android.
Yeah.
Next game that I played, which was fine, Expanse, Osiris Reborn. There were parts of it that I really was impressed by, so I got to say that. I can't downplay it too much. I am excited to play it. I expect that it's probably going to be good, but you do have to buy into it right now. So what you get to do right now, if you want, is you can pay extra money to buy the collector's editions, and you have to at least buy the $80 collector's edition to buy into the game, and then you get to play the quote-unquote beta. So I played the beta, and the beta is basically like the first hour of the game. Kind of like the intro, a little bit of where you're learning to use the controls and use the guns and kind of tutorial-ish. I don't even know what else is in the game. They don't show you piloting a ship ever. You're just like running around on this station. So I don't know if there's like spaceship stuff. I was picking up materials the whole time, but there was no crafting in the game. But I expect there will be because I'm picking up like spools of wire and metal scraps and stuff. I don't know. It just was relatively limited. Also limited in the people that you meet. It's supposed to be kind of like a Mass Effect style game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But set in the Expanse universe. The things I was disappointed, we'll start with that because then I'll tell you what I was not disappointed in that feels good and still makes me want to play it when it comes out. But I was disappointed that for paying as much as it costs right now, that all you're getting is that sort of like that 1 hour tutorial level. You get to see a lot of cool things in that tutorial level, but that's all it is, and you're done. So for one, that felt a little, it feels like it should be free. That it feels like it should be a free demo. Like Pragmata. All the stuff I talked about that I played in Pragmata, that was all the free demo. So
Right.
and that
Different.
felt really good. And boy, it felt like the value was certainly there. Although I didn't buy Pragmata, so maybe that's probably why this is working the way it is, because money. If we want people to, if we need some money to actually finish the game, Owlcat Games, then having people buy the collector's edition to buy into the demo is maybe the way they had to go. So I wasn't that pleased that that's all you got for paying that much right now. It does feel like something that should be a free demo. I also wasn't that pleased with the story parts. Like the environment and everything I'll talk about in a second is great. But the story parts, you play this character and his brother. It's you and your twin brother. And it's this situation where you guys are security. You're one of like the mercenary security forces in the Expanse universe, and you just escaped off Eros, which is where in the first season or in the opening books, in the opening book of the Expanse, it's where the first infection of the protovirus took the whole city on Eros and infected everybody and killed everybody in the whole asteroid, that kind of thing. And Holden barely escapes with Miller and all of that. These guys, this dude and his brother, just escaped from there as well in a ship. And the ship that they escaped on is also a Protogen stealth ship, and Protogen is after them to get the ship back and, kill them too because they stole the ship. They seem like 20-year-olds, and well, the main character seems like maybe he's 25, and his twin brother seems like he's 19. And that a little bit disappointed me. So then the dialogue that they have and, what you get to see so far in the interactions in the game aren't coming across with the brilliance of the writing of The Expanse just yet. Now, it's only the intro chapter, so I'm going to cut them some slack as far as that goes. But there were two other characters. There was like the mercenary company boss who's got this Irish accent. He seemed a little cooler. I would have preferred to play him. And then like Zahar is like one of your main contacts there. He seemed even more interesting. You barely got any of his story. I would have preferred to play him. Just rather than playing these two jokers. And then, like, in a Mass Effect style, you got dialogue choices, and your dialogue just seems relatively so far. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see if so there's Zahara on your ship, maybe, and this I'm seeing in the trailer. Maybe he becomes a companion, and maybe you can bring him around. Your brother seems a little dopey so far, but maybe he gets better. I don't know. It only seemed okay. The main mercenary woman from Protogen who's coming to kill you, she seemed a little cartoonish as, I'm going to kill you. Okay. So kill them or shoot them all. She's stomping around in her power armor. But again, opening chapter, we'll see where it goes. The things that I loved about it were the shooting feels really good. The environments are really clean. They're almost a little bit too clean, but they're well made. There's lots of, even in the little chapter, it's not really like exploration, but you did get to walk around in the base a little bit, and like walk into the quarters of some of the people that you left behind on Eros that now are dead, and they have like a little bit of, they like left a couple iPads around with some notes on them. All of that stuff where you're sort of just like looking around, you're walking around in the bathroom, you see a toilet and a shower. It's really well made game. The environments feel very fun to walk around and explore. I can't wait to see the inside of the ship, which you did not get to see at all. I can't wait to see where else you might go and what those places might look like. The shooting feels good to me. I liked it. You got some interesting weapons. You have a shield and health. That felt okay to me. I saw one reviewer say it was very difficult and they died a lot. I didn't die once, and I don't know why that is. I played it on regular mode, and I think there was a hard mode too. So maybe they were playing it on hard mode. My shield went to 0 I felt like my shield and health went to 0, but I didn't die. So I don't know exactly what was going on there. Maybe the mode that I had on, they were being really generous and I wasn't dying. No, it's armor and health, and your armor recharges. I don't know why they call it armor then. But my armor bar definitely went to 0 multiple times, and then my health bar under that, which you could see on the screen in a couple of these shots, I felt like went to 0 or close to 0, and then you can hit a button and you've got some heal packs to go with you. It was enough of interesting mechanics of the gunfights where you have to like jump behind cover, and there's sniper rifles, and you see like the laser sight of the sniper rifle. You have to stay out of it or you'll sort of get like one shot. Again, it didn't kill me, but I did get hit by those once in a while. There's grenades. So if you're like, I'm going to hide behind this thing or hide behind a corner, some of the tougher bad guys will throw grenades and bounce them off the wall. So you got to like clear out. I was hiding behind cover at one point, and 2 of the enemies shot the little railing wall that I was hiding behind and broke it and blew it up. So then I had to move and shuffle around. You can command your brother, so I imagine whatever companion you're with, to do their special move to like, okay, there's a fuel tank. Go, you just press the Q button or whatever, and it's sort of like lit up on the screen with their picture next to it. Press the Q button to make your brother go shoot the fuel tank, but it feels good. Get the, like little extra environmental impacts to the battle as well. That stuff all felt good. So I liked that. And then the part that I thought was brilliant was the mag boots section where you're walking around on the outside of the ship that you've seen in the trailers. You're walking around on the mag boots. They showed in this a couple of the dev talks as well. They did that really well. So you're not like walking around a 90-degree outside where you're like walking off the edge and turning 90 degrees. But in theory, you're kind of like weightless on the outside of this ship with your on the outside of this base with your mag boots connected to it. And parts of the environment are like tipped up at like a 30-degree incline, right? And when you walk up that incline, your point of view shifts, so that becomes level ground then, and up that 30-degree, what was 30-degree incline becomes 0 degrees and becomes the ground. That's cool. That's cool tech. That's how it should work. That's how it should feel. And it felt really good. It felt great. There was one extra bit then where you need to turn off your mag boots. You didn't have like jets on you at all, so you didn't have control really, but you had to turn on your mag boots and jump like up 2 stories to grab onto something. That didn't feel like how I wanted it to weightless movement to feel. But it was very limited, and it was just that one jump up section. You didn't have any controls, like the little jets, control jets on your suit at all. Maybe they'll do that differently when you're later in the game. I want weightless scenes. If I'm in a weightless environment, I want weightlessness to feel weightless. I want there to be no up and down. The enemy gate is down scenario. Whatever way I orient myself is now up to me. That's what weightlessness should feel like in a space game. Very few space games, and very few, like any kind of space game where you're like flying in a ship and your ship like levels out and there's like the plane of the elliptic and all of the ships are like all on that plane. That's not the way space works. That's not the way space battles work, and it shouldn't work that way. And that always pulls me out of it to some degree. Yeah, so there's my summary thoughts on The Expanse. So really cool looking, really cool gunfights and tech, but slightly disappointing on the story so far. But again, it's just the tutorial level. I'll give them a benefit of the doubt. Characters don't thrill me just yet. the brilliance of the Expanse was everybody had been around the block. Holden had been, ex-military and, on another mining job, and, remember the Kant. It's the whole thing. So he had been around. He had enough gravitas and experience to be a ship captain. And then you had Amos, ex-military, a ship captain, doing other jobs, gets roped into this. That's Alex. I meant Alex, the ship captain. Amos has seen some stuff. He's got this harsh backstory that they can draw on. Naomi had been like, technically, spoiler, but technically part of like a terrorist cell for part of her past history. These deep, complex stories that they can draw on, where these two main characters just seem like two bros fresh out of college. What is their deep backstory that they're gonna draw on? Dude, remember when we went to the football game after prom? It was crazy.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because that's supposed to be one of the selling points of the game, is the deep story with your companions, of which your brother is one of them, or sister, depending on what your character is.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna manage that. Maybe I'm, again, first chapter, they haven't been able to get into this character development yet. Maybe we'll find that out, that these guys, even though they seem like they're 23 years old, maybe they've been around for a while and done some stuff. Because as I said, like that other guy, which we just saw on the screen, Zahar, he seemed much more interesting. As I said, I want to just be him. I want to play him. But if he's a cool companion and you can like hang out with him and learn more about his backstory, then yeah, there's maybe some really great stuff going on. So we'll see. Last up, what do you think, Sema? You want to hear about Diablo?
I want to hear
4?
a little bit about it. A little bit.
A little bit?
You played yeah.
Yeah. So I played the first couple hours, and we'll probably talk about it more next week, because I'm sure I'm gonna finish this story and the story campaign, and probably get into a little bit of the end game, because I did that the last 2 expansions as well. I don't do a lot, but you get to the end, and you do want to like, I'll do a little bit of the season stuff. I'll go into, I'll go gather some blood shards or whatever and upgrade some, I just got a legendary. I'm sure I'll continue on a bit. But I did roll, as I suggested I would. I rolled a paladin, and I am happy I did. I like it. I do like it. It is really fun. The paladin is cool. I'll talk about a little bit of this. I won't really go into spoilers on the story, but I'll leave the story part for just a bit, including the things that I was alluding to last week in the opening cinematic, which I will confirm shortly. But let's just talk about then to start the mechanics and the paladin and where the gameplay is at, because it's really good. It's really fun. Just as fun as ever. I mean, I always had fun with Diablo, but you're running around. It's ARPG. You're just be able to just like blast waves and waves of demons that are assaulting you on the screen. The holy paladin, you could either like be using a sword, or my main ability, just like your left mouse click, your main builder ability, is I whipping this hammer like Thor. So I'm throwing this hammer, and it's just like, and it debuffs demons and sets them up then, because the way everything chains together, the way your build works, is you want to apply like an effect on whatever mobs you're fighting, and then you want your other your cooldown abilities to play off of that effect. So I applied judgment. So I have a judgment type build, and I did all of my building, and this was another really fun part. I did all of my building and looking at the tree and setting up my abilities without looking at a build guide. Because I didn't want to this time. And you don't need to for the campaign. I don't need to min-max, and I don't need to be told what to do. Now, there are some challenges to doing that, because you do have this chain of abilities, and each level, like level 1 through 5, you can only put points into sort of like the first level of abilities. And then as you level up, you get another point that you can put into the tree, but you need to like put so many points, like 3 or 4 points in each previous level to unlock the next level and be able to put points down there, which then has more abilities that you can choose from. So you can't put your build together into its final form until you're fully leveled up. The other thing that they did is not only do you gate down the tree where you put I get my hammer ability, and then my next level down, I get a shield ability, but you have upgrades to the hammer ability, and those are gated by level as well. So there's like a little mini tree that branches off of the hammer ability that says, here's 2 passives, and here's an ultimate form of the hammer ability. But this version of the ultimate form doesn't unlock till level 5. And this version of the ultimate form doesn't unlock until level 10. And this one's not till level 25. So you do get into this situation where I level up, and then I'm like, all right, not only what have I unlocked down below, but what back up the tree that I already had now is unlocked. And I gotta study the tree and like scroll around and try to figure out what's going on every time I level something up. But that's part of the fun of an ARPG too. But I started out just doing the sword and shield. So one-handed sword and shield, or one-handed weapon and shield, I should say, because most of the time I was actually playing with a mace or a flail. But then as soon as my main ability turned into the hammer throw, it even became much more fluid and synergizing with that judgment build, where I'm applying judgment with the hammer and a couple other things, and then I'm consuming the judgment and blowing things up by detonating the judgment with my other abilities. So all of those kinds of things that you would expect with all of the builds in Diablo are feeling really good. I did get far enough where I've got this ultimate form called the Arbiter form. Kind of turns me into what looks like a Nephilim. It looks like an angel. I get like these ethereal wings that come out of my back, and you can only stay in that form for so many seconds, and it's got a long cooldown. It's like a 2-minute cooldown, and it's 20 seconds, but then you can keep upgrading it where you stay in that form a little bit longer, and then the cooldown gets a little bit shorter. And I think I did see something just, as I was browsing one of the discussion threads, I think you can get it to the point where you can stay in Arbiter form all the time. Because then in Arbiter form, your wings are actually applying judgment as well. You can unlock that, and it feels really good. I had an aura on me. I had like this holy light aura around me. So like, here comes all these little rats, but my aura, it just like does DPS to anything that's like in range of like the whole entire screen. So I would just see if it's just like these low level rats, they would like run onto the screen and then pop, pop, pop. They would just pop by being near me.
That sounds satisfying. Yeah. I hate it when there's a lot of little things and your kit makes you cast long spells to kill each one.
Right. Or you have to single target every single one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did start to specialize in things that would blast the whole screen just for that reason. So I have this rain of spears, and they blast down onto the field in an area, and then they spread out a bit, and then they all detonate. And anything like, all the low level stuff, that all gets sort of like detonated by that. But you get used to then to like grouping things up and like blasting it all, and it starts to feel better and better. So yeah, that was really good. I had a couple things from playing before. I had a dog. I forgot where I got the dog, but I unlocked the dog. The dog will run around, and you know how everything you kill has a chance to, and a relatively good chance of like dropping some gold coins. The dog will run around and pick all this up for you. If you just run across them on the screen, it also picks them up. But having the dog run around and pick it all up for you, that's nice. A good dog.
Is. Yeah, I like it.
I think I unlocked some cosmetic. You can either think of it as cosmetic skins for the dog or alternate pets, but there's like a little demon cat dog thing. But I like just like the regular dog. I have a cool ghost horse that I ride around on that I got somehow. I have some store cosmetics. I didn't buy anything. I never bought a cosmetic, but I've got some stuff unlocked. I got my horse and I applied cosmetics to the horse, and I got my dog and the dog that I liked. But I did not apply any cosmetics to my gear. I figured I was just going to go with what I got and what I was wearing and what I picked up and what I put on, because you're constantly putting on new gear too. That's part of an ARPG. I did feel a little clown suity, the clown suit ish so far. I'm starting to look cooler now by a couple hours in, 3 hours in. But I started out kind of lackluster, and then I had a dumb hat on I did not like. And then like a weird like kilt pants thing that I had to wear for a while. So there's a little bit of that. That's part of the reason that you can certainly go into the wardrobe and apply cosmetics to your outfit. But I wanted to see the part of what I'm in here to do also is look at the environments and look at the art and zoom in. So that because I really like the design and artwork of Diablo, of what they've done across the game as well. So that was cool. And then I'm also getting the start of the story. So little bit spoilerish. I'm going to go through maybe spoilers like in the first half hour. So if you don't want to hear that, skip ahead 5 minutes. And some of it, I'm going to spoil what's in the intro cinematic, which was already been posted on YouTube and has been out for a couple weeks now. So here we go. You ready, Sema?
I'm ready. Spoil me.
In the opening cinematic, and I'll even fast forward to it here to show you, the opening intro cinematic is Nyrel, right? So Nyrel is the girl for the first 2 chapters. This is sort of like the 3rd chapter of the story. Nyrel is in this research lab. She's been haunted and possessed by Mephisto for a while now. In the whole last chapter, she was carrying around a crystal that had Mephisto trapped inside the crystal, but as a result, he was sort of like haunting her and infesting her mind and assaulting her mentally. He's still doing that. Mephisto at the end of the last game also resurrected himself in the body of a fallen prophet. You can imagine like a Moses, Jesus kind of character from the old days that was in a tomb. He's now come back in that form and is now using that form to rally the land to his cause. And people think he's now the prophet returned, where it's really Mephisto, one of the demons, the prime evils of hell, spreading hatred through this prophet. So in this trailer, you're seeing this dude that looks, like a Jesus allegory. He's haunting Nyrel's mind still. And by the end of this 5-minute cinematic, he kills Nyrel. He kills her. Confirmed. Nyrel is dead. So as you start the game, you mourn Nyrel. You get to hear about how she died. The last 2 games, the last 2 chapters, the whole gamer community, the fan base in general, wasn't very happy with having to follow Nyrel around and making Nyrel the main character. And they didn't think like she was an interesting enough main character. I thought she was fine. She was fine. But it seems like, it nearly seems like, and maybe this was the plan all along, but it seems like Blizzard, the writers, were finally like, fine, you don't like Nyrel? Fine. We'll kill Nyrel. Nyrel's dead. There, you happy? Kind of that way.
Yeah. I hate that feeling, but I felt it before in games.
So they kill Nyrel practically off screen. She's killed in the intro cinematic, and you're dealing with the aftermath. Lorath, who was sort of like the elder mentor character of the previous games, he's back. He's kind of like a main. You start the game with him as a main companion. He is a grizzled veteran of the Haradrim Order of, you could sort of think of them as knights, monks, Jedi, who have been fighting evil with the Haradrim sect for a very long time. Much deeper, more interesting character than Nyrel in a lot of ways, because he's got a lot of more history to draw on. The other, even a bigger spoiler, Lilith. Lilith is back. Lilith is in your head. Lilith, you killed Lilith, and a fragment of her soul is now bound in you, bound to your soul. So in your mind, you go on these sort of like these couple of these adventures, and you can talk to Lilith, get some guidance from Lilith. You can't necessarily trust it because she's still a demon, but she also created humans. She's birthed humans. Her and Inarius, this other angel, came together to make Sanctuary and make humanity. That's the whole backstory to Diablo. So she wants humans to thrive. She wants them to thrive for her own power and purposes a lot of times, but she doesn't want Mephisto to destroy humanity. So she's helping you. She's very Xalatath right now.
Right. I didn't want to say it, but that's what I was thinking.
And people love Xalatath, right? So let's trade Nyrel for Lilith, bring Lilith back, and you get to like hang out with Lilith. And Lilith has no shoes.
Really?
She walks around in your mind in her demon form with her cool garb on and her horns and her wings and no shoes, of course, because that's what the fans want, right? I guess.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Mephisto, his prophet form wears no shoes either. So it's like, I don't know. But
That's a thing.
so she's like this large, attractive, busty Lilith that everybody likes and not like this little, afraid girl. I think I think that appeals to the player base quite a bit more. So yeah, Lilith is back and she's in your head and you get to hang out with her a bit and talk to her, and she's actually providing you a potential weapon, and that's sort of like the genesis of now what you need to go out and do. You need to like reassemble this weapon. That's the game. That's the chapter. That's your quest. You will get to then be fighting against Mephisto and what he's out doing. He's trying to like gain followers and disciples. He's got his corrupted disciples that then like behind everyone's back are going and like spawning demons into the world and slitting their own throats so that a demon can erupt out of their body and things like that. But he then is like talking to the leaders of various nations and convincing them that I will help you. I will sacrifice myself to help you fight the demons, while sowing the seeds of hate, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, good fun story, good compelling plans within plans, both on Mephisto's side and on Lilith's side, and the struggles of what Lorath has had to deal with. I mean, Lorath has sacrificed his eternal soul in the previous game. Also, when he dies, his soul becomes part of this weird soul, this what's called the tree of souls, tree of shadows, tree of something, where his head will be like hanging from the tree with his spirit bound to it for eternity, as part of a deal that he had to make in order to progress the plot in the previous episodes. So he's like still dealing with that as his ultimate demise. He's reconciled himself to that. He feels like he's failed in a lot of ways. Again, in the opening couple hours, more bad things happen between you and him, and in him that you have to like help him deal with. And then another character from the past appears, and it's a big deal. And so it's the kind of Diablo story that fans will really enjoy. So I'm liking it so far. I'm sure I'll finish the story this week and maybe be able to talk about it a little more next week. Hopefully it finishes as strong as it started. And hopefully, well, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, our bet is still, will there be any Diablo in this Diablo game ever? So far, no. And I don't see a path for Diablo joining just yet, but maybe by the end of the story. He's not part of anything now. It's all Mephisto, but it's full on Mephisto, not just like a shadow of Mephisto, which was in the past couple games. So, all right. Any other Diablo questions?
Yeah, so that was your 2 hours. Are you going to play more?
Mm-hmm. I will play all of it. I play all the story, I'm sure. I don't think the story is going to be that long. So I bet I'm going to play all of the story by the end of the weekend for sure. I think it's only like a couple more. It's usually only like 3. Well, I guess let's do a web search. Let's ask the interweb. How long is the Lord of Hatred story? How long is the Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred campaign? 8 hours. 8 hours? That's longer than I thought. I've been going a little bit slow. I probably played 3 hours so far. So 6 to 8 hours is what the web is saying. Forcer says 8 hours. I've been going a little bit slow because I've been like looking in every corner, zooming in on every piece of art and that kind of thing. So I could see it taking me the full 8 hours at least. But I'll finish that by next week by the podcast. So yeah. And then after that is when you get into like the end game stuff, which is like I don't even know what they are now, but it'd be like this, a demon invasion in a zone, and you go into the zone and it's just wave after wave of demons that are dropping these shards, and the shards become currency and that kind of thing. And that's the way you get some special end game upgrades. I'll probably end up doing a little bit of that because it's a fun part of what comes after, and you're just sort of in the mood for it at that point. I'm sure I'll do some of that. And then we're in a season also. So there's the seasonal objectives, and I haven't looked at what they are yet, but I've already seen achievements keep popping up that says you've completed a season objective. Go to the season track to see your reward. So I may just for fun be checking a few of those things off the list and see where I get to by next week. And get my paladin. I want to unlock more of those abilities and see where it ends up. I played the first, you start at level 1, where you basically just have a sword and a shield and like dull armor. And it did not feel, so this is like the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, did not feel powerful at all. And then I kind of was dumb and I forgot. I've been picking up these armor drops and these blue drops. I was like, oh, well, maybe I should equip some of the stuff that I've been picking up off the ground.
Right.
And maybe I
yeah.
should invest these 3 ability points that I have. And I'm like, oh, and suddenly I was super powerful. And wait, I did die. I finally died once. So I haven't died at all. I died one time. So I got into one fight where there was like a one-shot ability that I didn't get out of. And I lesson learned. But besides that, I have not died. And my paladin is now powerful enough. I'm playing on normal, and maybe I shouldn't be, but I barely even need to use my health potions. Maybe in a boss fight, I'll use a health potion or 2. But I've got like some self-healing. I've got like this healing circle I can drop on the ground and fight in when my health gets a little bit low. As long as I'm paying attention and dodging, and I've got like a leap ability where I can like use it to leap in to do damage, or I can leap out. Like for boss fights, I usually save it to leap out of a damaging situation. Maybe go kill some ads while I'm trying to get out of the big circle in the middle the boss is making. I'm not a elite player. I'm not good at games. I'm okay, but I'm already really powerful as the paladin and feels really good, which is kind of the thing that it makes you. It should make you feel that. I'm playing on normal also, and there's like 10 more levels of difficulty above where I'm at. So
No, I totally agree though. It's a game. You should feel like I'm totally okay with aggression, right? Like you start off and it's a challenge to kill one rat.
Yep.
But I like it when there's reward and you get more powerful, and then you can kill 2 rats and 7 rats, and in your case, thousands of rats.
Yeah. And right away they let you play that power fantasy and feel really good. Oh, here's an IGN video of the paladin. We can fast forward a little bit. Show the paladin running around and just like blasting stuff. There's numbers popping all over the screen, and we don't want to fight a big boss. We want to fight lots of little things where it looks a lot more fun. And you can see what's going on there. It's like spears dropping and just like enemies show up and then pop. More demons pop out of the ground and then they're dead. And there's gold dropping everywhere. Look at this. There's like gold dropping and pop, pop, pop. Oh, you just hit Paragon 122. Good job. You just leveled up again. And oh, they just exploded. These big giant bugs. Oh, they're dead too. Look at this guy.
Nice. Yeah.
So that's the power of fantasy. That's what you want. That's what you want to feel like. And this is in one of those blood zone, there's blood invasion end game where you're just supposed to be grinding up these aberrant shards anyway, these aberrant cinders. You say everything is just supposed to die. This isn't like some sort of boss fight or something. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, so I'll play a bunch more. You too can play, Sema.
That's true. I could. I am almost finished gearing up, and wow. So
you got plenty of your wow things to play. I'm sure. Are you doing, what is it, Nightmare Prey?
So here's the deal. I'm not doing Nightmare Prey because there's no reward in it for me.
That's what I've heard. People have been kind of annoyed by it.
I didn't enjoy it so much that I like it as a pastime because so I applaud the fact that you can get these rewards across several different activities. So I prefer other things, and the cap is very low, which you're familiar with in games, each week. So it's quick before these weekly activities become no payback.
You sound less critical of the Prey experience than a lot of what I've seen online, though. Like, I keep seeing, like, in the forums and Reddit discussions, like, Nightmare Prey is terrible. This is the worst system ever.
Well, you have to pay attention. You do have to pay attention.
Well, okay. Well, there you go. It's attention deficit is what we've got going on in the world these days.
You have to pay attention.
Kids these days, they have no attention.
Not only is your target going to ambush you at an unknown time, but with Nightmare Prey, there's two other things going on. The worst one, this is probably what they're complaining about, is randomly, I'm sure it's not random, but it feels random, you have 20 seconds to kill something.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it killed, then you get this big dot. You get this big damage over time thing, which could easily kill you.
Yeah.
So if you're doing Nightmare Prey on a Tuesday, when like everyone and his twin brother is out doing it, sometimes there's not a mob that you can get to and kill within 20 seconds.
Okay.
It can be a critter. It doesn't have to be a big mob. It can be a critter, but you still have to find it. And 20 seconds, for many people, me included, is a short amount of time. So you do have to sort of plan, like when you're moving to your next thing you're going to do, you got to, on your, out of the corner of your eye, is there a critter around? And then the other thing that happens is a ghost of yourself appears at a distance away from you and fixates on you. And if that ghost reaches you, then you're dead. So all you have to do is interrupt that ghost. But if you've used your interrupt and it's on cooldown, then you have to run.
Okay.
If you're in the middle of fighting your target when the ghost comes to that, and you have to run, and you have to, and they can all happen at the same time too. So then, and you have to kill something within 20 seconds. You might fail, and maybe that's it. They don't like that.
Maybe.
And when you fail a nightmare level, it starts over from the beginning because you have to build up.
It sounds like a challenge, though.
It is a challenge. Yeah, so that I think that's,
and for people, for everybody that's like,
it's a challenge. It's a challenge if you're undergeared. It's a challenge if you don't know what's going on. But it gets to be a thing where you can just do it.
Yeah, right. I mean, we talked about just that way to make like the normal grindy world that starts to feel less and less dangerous and less interesting for players that are used to it, exciting and interesting and dangerous again. That seems interesting and reasonable. And oh my gosh, I died and I failed. That's good.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what players want. I mean, people criticize the MMOs where you don't die.
It's kind of punishing though because you spend 20 minutes building up. I'll just call them points, but you don't actually see the points. But you're building up points so that you can then do the final fight.
Yeah.
If you die, then you lose all that.
Yeah,
The last
you
20
lose that
minutes
progress.
is erased. Yeah.
But that's
risk.
right. I mean, in Elden Ring, you're gonna lose all your I mean, you lose all that stuff. You drop your stuff. That's the whole
I mean,
thing.
now that I think about it, that is kind of new for WoW because normally, yes, you would lose progress against something that you were killing, but you don't lose any other kind of progress when you die. So I guess maybe
Right.
that is that true though?
Well, I mean, you get repair
Like
costs,
if
and
you were doing like challenge mode things and stuff, yeah. I mean,
I
it's
mean, a
not for every.
boss fight can take 20 minutes, and you can lose the last 20 minutes of having to fight the
Yes,
boss again.
yes,
So,
yes. And people do say this boss sucks then.
right. Because I didn't
But
one
yeah,
shot it, and then
it's
it's
just
too
like how
easy.
surface thing is not for everybody.
This is garbage.
Nightmare. And luckily, if you don't like Nightmare Prey, you can get the same rewards by doing 2 or 3 other different things.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 or 5. It's a panoply of choices.
Or go play, or don't do it. But don't say
Yeah.
it's bad for the people that do want the challenge. And if if you're weak and not good enough, then you can say that it's too hard for you. That's okay. You can go back to fighting gnolls. All right.
Oh. But how
Send
many
your
times have you
emails
died
on why
from
you're
gnolls?
so weak to Sema. You can address that those rage emails to Sema. All right. So you're going to do more WoW and SWOTOR May the 4th
Yeah.
stuff this weekend?
Yes.
I will be doing SWOTOR May the 4th and Diablo this weekend. And Monday, don't forget, come join me. I'd love to see some more people in there doing Q&A. Ask me whatever you want to see in Unreal Engine about how our game works, and I'll open it up and I'll show it off.
Yeah.
I have no problem with revealing our techniques, and it's not
Sure.
magical. We're not,
Very educational.
we've got some smart people that have helped line things up, and then I've learned a ton in the last 2 years on top of my experience with development in general over my career. Can show you some of it at least, and you can tell me new ways to go about some of it. That's Monday mornings, 9:30 a.m. Central. I'm going to switch over. I was doing it both on the New Overlords channel and the Contemplation Games channel, but I'm going to switch over to just the Contemplation Games channel moving forward. So that'll be twitch.tv/Contemplation Games. Garden and a Goat. Come check us out. Anything else then before we wrap up, Sema?
Nope, let's do it.
All right. For us, all the feed subscribe links are on newoverlords.com, and our video is up on YouTube/newoverlords. Please come chat with us in our Discord at newoverlords.com/Discord. And you can also follow on all the social networks, and we'll keep you up to date there too. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.